Welcome to another tutorial here with Brizy Page Builder, and in this one we're going to extend a little bit on our coffee shop, and we're going to add this block here with these 4 columns, very similar, but then you have these 2 columns that overlap the block above it, and I'm going to show you how to achieve that with negative margins. So it sounds a little bit scary, but don't let it get you down, because negative margins will allow you a lot of nice flexibility if you want to build a good looking website with all kinds of special little effects going on. Let's go to our WordPress site, and this is our dashboard. I just closed these things, so if you wonder why it looks so empty, you can play around a little bit with your dashboard. Nothing special, nothing changed. I just closed them out. Go to Pages, All Pages, and this is the one, Coffee Shop, that we had worked on last time. We can go directly to Edit with Brizy, or we can view the page first, and just to see how that looks, let's click on View. Takes us into what we did last time. And remember, we had worked on these 2 blocks in the previous 2 tutorials. It's beginning to look too orange for me, like way too much time in the sun. To edit the Brizy editor, you go up here where the bar says Edit Page with Brizy and click on that, and that will open the page builder for us. To bring in a block between 2 blocks, you don't need to go to the bottom and say here, add a new block. All you need to do is hover here in the middle until you see that plus and the blue horizontal line. Just click on it and you will get this familiar dialog box, and we choose add a blank block. We will be working with 4 columns, and by default we get 2 columns. To help us shape the content to the correct proportions, what I will do is make 4 columns. So we have these 2 already by default. Go to the column settings up here, click on it, and then you'll see the duplicate function over here. Click once, click twice, and now we've got our 4 columns. In each of these columns, I'll be bringing in an icon, but I won't be using an icon element. I'll be bringing in my own icon. So that will be an image. Under that, I will have a text element for the heading, and under that, I'll have a second text element for the content. So what I'll do, instead of bringing in one, styling it, bringing in the second, styling it, I'll bring in all 3 elements at the same time. On the left, in the sidebar at the top, you go to Add Elements, click on that, and we look for Image, because I'll be bringing in my own, drag and drop. Then while this bar is open, which is nice, you can go to the text, grab the text, drag and drop until you see the thick gray line underneath the image. Scroll down a little bit. And we do the same with the next one, bring in another text element and boop, drop it down there. We're done. Let's go and bring in the content for our image. Click on the image, and then again here on the left, image, and again on image, and we're going to choose this one with the beans. Select. You cannot see it at the moment because our background is also white. Let's go and change the color of the background first before we continue. Otherwise, everything we do is going to be kind of useless. To change the background of the block, go to the block settings up here with this icon with these 2 little sliders. Click on that, and we'll be playing around with the colors over here. Click on colors. We will use that orange color that we had used previously, so we will type in the code. In the bottom left-hand corner, double-click on the code settings and type in D25200, and that gives us the orange. Now we can see what we are doing over here. Continue then by clicking on the image, and we are going to reduce the size of the image by going to the settings up here. And then the size, the height, I'm going to leave at 75%, and you can grab the slider over here. And I'm going to bring it down to around 60, 67, 68, 69, around there. Let's put it on 67%. For the heading, I'm going to click here in this text box. And because I cannot see anything, let's change the color first. Go up here, and on the right, the color all the way to the right is white. If you click on it, it will go up here to the top left-hand corner, which will give you white, triple F, triple F. And now we can triple click, and the reason I triple click is when you want to select an entire paragraph. That is triple click or Control A on a PC, Command A on a Mac. And I'm going to type in there organic Organics, no organic. After that, let's style it with typography, and we're going to choose that font that we've been using, Good Vibes. There we go, Good Vibes. Increase the size of Good Vibes all the way. What is this going to be? Let's see, around here, 56. And then for the line height, I'm going to reduce that to 1. It will not change anything to the size of the text. It will just reduce the spacing at the top and the bottom. Always when I work with single lines like headings, my line height is usually 1. I prefer to keep it at that level. The only thing else left here is to center align it. Go to alignment option over here. Click once to put it in the center. Let's do the text at the bottom. Click on it and change the color first so we can see it. Choose the swatch on the right. And this is placeholder text, so I'm not going to make any changes to the text content. I'm just going to leave it as a placeholder. Typography next, and this is a Playfair display. Increase the size to 18. And because this is a paragraph, I will leave the line height at 1.7. I think it's okay at 1.7. The line height, you will have to judge it based on the font. Some fonts look better at, let's say, 1.5. Some look better at 1.9. But this Playfair display, I think, displays very nicely at 1.7. And then to keep things in uniform, we will also center align it. Click on the alignment and it's center aligned. We have done all of this, so there's no need to do it for column 2, 3, and 4. All we need to do is just duplicate this column and we have copies of it. To do that, go up to the settings of the columns and click on duplicate, and you can duplicate it more. But once you get to 6 columns, you won't be able to duplicate more within this row. If you click duplicate again, it's going to do this. It's going to give you a whole new section below it with a copy of what you've done up there. And that we don't want. To undo that, Control Z or Command Z. And then what we have to do is delete these columns. So you just go up here and delete them, or you can right click and choose delete. And now we just have to duplicate one more column, and then we've got our 4 columns. You have to agree, this looks a little bit squashed. Everything is just too close to each other, so we need to add some kind of space between these various columns so that they are not that squashed upon each other. The way I will do that is, if you go to the column, is to add space inside the column. And every time we add space inside a container, we are talking about padding. Go to your column settings, settings, more settings, and we go to padding. The padding is currently in pixels. I will change it to percentage for no reason that I often like working with percentages, and it depends on your own personal style. What I will do first is click here on the percentage sign next to each of the sliders and put it in percentage. And then if I look back there, I think it doesn't look bad. I'll add some more space at the top and the bottom. So let's say about 10% at the top. Yep, got that at 10, and 10% at the bottom. Good. Let's see. That looks better, but now we have to get these 3 to look the same. To do that, we can use the right click and copy feature. So go here to your column, right click, copy. And then you go to the second column, right click, paste styles. And it will take the padding that we had applied to the first column and paste it as styles within the second column. And you do the same for the third column up here, right click, paste styles, and fourth, right click, paste styles. Now things look a little bit more visual appealing. The only thing we need to do next then is start changing the content. And before I do that, I will change the color backgrounds of these 3 columns. So the second column, to change the color, you go to the column settings, click on it, go to colors, and this is black. You may be tempted to think that the swatch all the way to the left is black, but if you click on it, observe what happens to this little selector over here. It goes to a very dark charcoal blue, so it's not pure black. And this is all the default settings that come within Brizy. In future tutorial, I will show you how to change these so you can have your own default colors ready to work with. Grab the selector and drag it all the way to the bottom left-hand corner. And black is always 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 6 zeros. Okay, let's go to the next column. Click on the settings, color, and we will type in the code for that brown color. Double click in the bottom code, and the code is 672, where am I? 672A19. There goes our brown. Go to the last column, click on the column settings, color, and this one, the swatch all the way to the right, is white. Click on that. And of course, we have a problem now because now we cannot see any of the content because that is black. We will fix that once we get to the content. Let's do the content for these two first. Click on this image, delete this one, and then click up here to select the next image. Click in the text, double click it, and type in roasts. We will leave the placeholder text. Next one, click on the image, delete it, image, and choose your logo there. And this is about superior brands, so we will double click on organic and type in superior and leave the placeholder text. Now for this one, you understand everything needs to be black. So click here on the image, delete it, upload the next one, and you see I had prepared it in black, selected. And then you just click here on this one, color first, and you make it black by bringing the selector to the bottom left-hand corner. Double click to select everything and type in global or international. I don't think international will fit in there. And then for the bottom, click in it, colors, and bring the selector to the bottom left-hand corner, and we're not changing the placeholder text. Let's have a look at what we've got so far. The styling, sizing looks okay, except this image over here, I think is a little too small compared to the rest. You see, if I hover in here, the space between the image and the container is quite big. But if I go to this one, the space between the image and the container, not that big. So this image makes it look unbalanced. If you click on it and you go to settings and you go to size, you can increase the size, but you will increase the size of the container as well. By doing so, pushing all of the elements below it, unbalancing your whole little setup here again. So we don't want to do that. I'll click outside and then Control Z, Command Z to undo it. In Brizy, there's a nice feature how you can get to enlarge an image. Click again on the image, go over here to image, and now you will see the option here to zoom. Wait, let me click outside and just scroll down a little bit because I want to have my toolbar up here. Click on the image. Now you see it pops up here. Grab this slider for the zoom, and I'm going to increase it until I think the same space between the container and the image compared to the others. Maybe this is a bit too big. Let's see. That looks okay. I can make it a little bit bigger. Let's put it at 130%. There we go. Now our image is more or less the same size. Everything looks better balanced. I would like, though, to bring in some space under this section over here. If I look between organic and this one here, I think these two text elements are too close to each other. What I can do is I click on organic, go to settings, and then gap below. I can add some gap there. Let's make it 12 pixels. I can get to 12, and I'm not going to get to 12. Double click and type in 12. Should just save myself the time and do that from the beginning. It would be nice if the right-click feature worked on this text element so I can apply it to these guys also, but it doesn't. So now you have to go to this one as well. Settings, gap below. I'm going to double click and type in 12. Then go to superior, settings, gap below 12. And then for the global one as well, we do the same, gap below and 12. View the final. That looks acceptable. Up next, let's get rid of this space here at the top and the bottom so that these boxes are all the way to the top and the bottom of the block. Now we can apply that padding, that space inside this block by going up here until you see that blue bar, click and drag. And of course you can then drag it all the way to the top, except you cannot. There's still a little bit space. Same for the bottom. If you wait until you see that blue bar, click and drag, and you reduce it, there's still a little bit space left there. And that's going to always work like that. If you want to remove all of this space, you have to go into the block settings and reduce it there. Go to the block settings over here, settings, and more settings. And you will see there's 15 pixels at the top and 15 pixels at the bottom. Because I want to reduce both of them, I'm going to link them over here. And then it defaults to 75 pixels. I'll just grab the slider and drag it all the way to 0. And now we have removed all of that. A few things left for us at this moment, and that is to put some animation on these cards or these boxes so that they can slide in up nicely. And then we want to bring this column here and this one to extend up to the top over the block at the top. Let's put in the animation first. So we go to this one over here, click on it, settings, more settings, and then advanced. Go to entrance animation, click on it and scroll down until you see slide in up over here. And they are alphabetical. If you do get lost, slide in up. Duration 1 second, delay 1 second. I'm going to bring both of them down to about 0.5. That's a little bit faster. Right. Then we go to the next one. Go to the column, settings, more settings, advanced, entrance animation, scroll down to slide in up, and now I will leave it on the default. So you can understand this one will be coming in after this one. There will be a longer delay. So I'm trying to set them up that the one consecutively follows the other one. Third column, let's click on that. Settings, more settings, advanced. Entrance animation, scroll down, slide in up. And now I will increase it. Let's increase it to 1.3 and this one to 1.4. And the last one will make it even slower with more delay, more settings, advanced, slide in up. All the way, there we go. And then duration, let's say duration is around 2 seconds. And the delay, we can put it above 1.5. Now we've got that animation. See, takes 2 seconds. The last thing that we have to do then for this view is to bring in those overlapping features, which we will achieve with negative margins, and we will still work a lot with negative margins. Go to the third column, click on the settings, more settings, and then margins. Currently the margins are linked, and that's not what we want. We only want the top of this column to extend, not the rest of them. So we delink them. Go to the top margin, and if you grab the slider and you drag it to the right, which will increase, you will see it applies spacing at that top. Very similar to padding in a sense, but what you see is that the shape of the box remains the same, pushing everything down. Of course, we don't want that. So we grab the slider and we go into the world of negativity, into a negative, and let's go all the way to a number around 60 or 70. Where am I? 69. There we are. So we put it down there. It extends nicely up. Now we take this one, click on the settings, more settings. We do the same under margins, delink them, grab the top margin and drag it to the left to apply a negative margin. You see the minus over there. This one we can take all the way to, let's say, minus 100. If you need more than minus 100, you can either type it in or click in there. And then with the up, down arrows on your keyboard, you can just type it in. Like now I've got it at minus 90. Nothing will happen while you are typing on the keyboard. But after you stop and you give it about half a second, like I will take it now to 110. You see 110. And the moment I stop like that, boom, it will jump. So 110, let's make it even more. Let's make it 120. And yeah, now you've got this nice step effect that is applied to these boxes going up like that. And we can click outside. Save our work, Control Command S. And I want to remind you, this is only for tutorial purposes because this doesn't look good with this section here at the top. I guess if we want to make it look better, we have to drag it down a little bit like this and probably bring this image more to the right so it's a little bit better aligned. I think just adding that little space here already, it looks better. Before we say adios, let's go and have a look on the tablet and the phone. We go to the bottom left-hand corner for the mobile view and responsiveness. Click on that, and then for the tablet. Absolutely not going to work. It is squashed, it doesn't look that good, and it's too big. You can go and you can change the size of the image and the size of the text. But the better way to do this is to change the columns and make the columns bigger. This is a very nice feature in Brizy. You see the column handle here in the middle? Go to the first column and grab that handle and see the percentage is currently set at 25% at the top. I'm going to drag it to the right and then I'll watch that percentage until I get to 50% or as close as possible. I've never been able to get it to go to 50. You see, it jumps from 50. So you choose 59, 50.1 or 49 point. Let me see. No, you have to choose 49.9 or 50.1. Go to the second column, grab the handle, and this one probably will give us 50.1. Then we have exactly 100%. There we go. Then you do the same for this one. Grab the handle, 49.9. It's actually pretty easy getting to 49.9, but doesn't want to give me 50. And then we do the same for this one, 50.1. And now we have this nicely spaced. The problem with the tablet display in Brizy is that we cannot get rid of this space over here. We don't have control over that. I've tried my hardest. So what I would recommend if you go for this is to apply like a border around this uniformly. So if I go here, I can click on the block settings. And then what I'm going to do is click again on settings. And for the padding, I'm going to reduce it to around 15 or 20. Let's put it on 20, that it looks like a border that we've applied here. You can even change the color. And the color, if we put it on white like this, it's going to be a problem because all of that is on white. So that's probably not a good idea in this situation. Click outside, Control Command Z to undo that function. It looks good for the tablet. Nothing to complain about. Let's go to the phone, mobile, and this is very standard for mobile. Let's have a look again at tablet, make sure it's still okay. And let's have a look at our desktop. There's our desktop. Save our work, update, Control S, Command S, preview our work. Click on the preview button. And let's have a look at that animation, which of course isn't perfect in Brizy at this moment. We can talk about that quite a lot still, because as you saw just now, the animation actually starts here. It doesn't start off monitor. That can be fixed if there was an intensity slider within Brizy, which is a fading function. Don't want to get too technical, but if you apply a fade on the animation as it comes in and slides in, it appears like it is coming all the way off the monitor from the left and off the right. That function isn't included in the animation yet. I hope this is something that Brizy can include in the future, because then it doesn't look like everything starts on the page. I'm going to refresh the page so you can see what I'm talking about. The animation starting on the page. You see, there it is, and it slides in. That looks like, we're late to the game. Sorry, guys. Here's, that's the kind of thing. But then works very nicely here at the bottom. We've styled this info section, and everything is very orange. I think we're done with orange for now.